He said, we're going to make sports history before we ever bought the Cowboys, before you bought the Cowboys, because I didn't pay a damn cent.
My first real introduction to the NFL was at our first full padded practice when Hines Ward and I hit. Listen, it was my legs that subsequently buckled, and he held me up like a toddler and said, I'm not like any other wide receiver. This story planted deep in my psyche. When a rival opponent stood over me during the game, let's just say the NFL made more money that day.
Matt, I'm proud to have you as my presenter, even though you went to Penn State. I always say my favorite weekend is when Penn State, Notre Dame, and Green Bay all lose in the same weekend. Anyone remembers that? We called it J.C. Penney to make it sound more exotic. We got that discount. The Husky section, right, Mom? Every single time. When I first got to the Bears in 1983, we weren't a very good football team. One of my first meetings, Mike Ditka said, I got good news and bad news. Good news is we're going to the Super Bowl. Bad news is half you guys won't be there when we do. And he'd lean down. You know, he had that voice like Michael Jackson, you know? And he said, good morning, sunshine. Time to kick some ass.
Check that. Check that. I'm gonna say 14 wonderful children. The jury's still out on one. Rosalind. All the defensive backs, the ones that baptized me and the ones that I baptized. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I would encourage all parents to send their school to South Carolina State University because some...
They said be brief, so thank you. Good night.
And to my beautiful wife of 30 years, Letha, the first time I saw you walking across the campus, I knew we'd be together. And when I finally got up the courage to tell you, you looked at me like you had a whole lot of brothers who told you to stay away from those athletes.
Imani, my plastic surgeon, you're going to help so many women feel better about themselves.
Bob looked over at me and said, we're going to the Super Bowl, rookie, and I don't want you to do anything to mess it up.
Mike was an all-pro tight end, which means he taught me nothing about running pass routes as a wide receiver.
But the reason I'm here, and the reason I'm second on the program tonight, is that I'm 84 frapping years old. I've got to go to bed at 9 o'clock. Barbara and I dated for 5 years. It took me 5 years to convince her that I was the guy.
Bus Cook, my agent, put your phone down. By the time Tom Brady is inducted in his first year of eligibility in the year 2035, he'll only have time to post his acceptance speech on his Instagram account.